Welcome to the next episode of KapVista Klips. Today we have Brendan from Ada, which I'm excited to speak to. How are you, Brendan?
Very good, Daniel. How are you?
Good, good. I'm interested to see, hear more about your experiences and Ada in general, and then your ask. So, do you want to jump into it? Tell us about your story. How did you get to this point? What's your background?
Yeah, so personally, I won't bore you with all the detail, but I live in New Zealand. It's home now. I know we've met a couple of times in Australia, but I live in New Zealand. Been here for 13 years. It's home now. 10 years in the UK prior to this, but originally from South Africa. I've always been in either tech or telcos as a background. I really my passion is small businesses and helping small businesses be more successful. And since moving to New Zealand, this is my second startup. The first one I co-founded with a couple of other guys, and we built product for banks. It was started in New Zealand, but we offered the proposition around the world. And what was an interesting one, we learned a lot about small businesses through that journey as well, and basically giving them all the information they would need about their business and what's going on in their business was quite a confronting experience for a small business owner. But you gave that same information of, here's everything that's going on in your business, here's all your data in one place. You gave it to an accountant, and suddenly the accountant would light up and go, wow, that's amazing. I can really help my small business customer. And so there was an interesting moment there where I thought, actually, what we should be trying to do is help accountants help their small business customers. How do we help accountants get into that space? And I have been in the accounting tech ecosystem for a while. I've worked with, Xero and a bunch of other apps in the ecosystem, and very quickly learned that a lot of accountants are trying to do this. They are trying to move off being pure compliance, tax-focused accountants into offering advisory, but didn't really have the tools to do that at scale. So when I originally launched Ada, the first thing we did was built a more frictionless way of allowing a small business owner to get access to their data, because they were confronted if you put all the numbers in front of them. So we actually used natural language, and we built a digital assistant. You could ask Ada questions, and it would give you an answer back in a real natural way. But we tested on retail and hospitality, and when COVID hit, that absolutely killed that market overnight, because all retail and hospitality businesses, as we know, just shut down. Yeah. By that point in time, we'd already had a lot of accountants and bookkeepers showing interest. And so what we did was we just followed those pain points. We just followed those accountants and bookkeepers and said, well, tell us more about how you want to offer this out to your client. Tell us more about the pain points we can solve for you. So what that resulted in was this pivot of our product strategy. We're always going to work with accountants and bookkeepers, but it meant we prioritized the advisory platform first, and deprioritized the small business solution to an add-on second. Mm-hmm. So that all happened in 2021, and last year in 2022 we came out of beta and started to offer the advisory platform out to accountants and bookkeepers. We now have some paying customers, but we're still pretty early stage. We've just got a really, really strong validation of the product, because we've been really working with our customers for the last year and a bit onto how to solve those pain points. So yeah, for me personally, it's been an interesting journey at Ada. It's actually been two startups in one brand, but the small business product, then pivoting and focusing more on the advisory product.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
Yeah, awesome. So who's the team behind it?
Yes, we've got an amazing team. Very fortunate. The leadership team in Ada. There's a few of us in the business, but our guy who's been on charge of the product from the very beginning is an actual chartered accountant himself. He actually runs a small accountancy firm on the side, and he's been helping us build the product. So we have this deep understanding of accountants and the pain points that they've got, and how to serve their clients better. So Phil's a product guy. We have Nico, who's in charge of technology. So he's our CTO. He was previously at Ambit, which is another natural language AI business in New Zealand, and he was also a senior dev at Serco. So comes out of startups, comes out of building modern tech platforms, and he's been an amazing addition to the team. Jess, who's in charge of marketing, is also an ex-startup marketing person. You'll see, she does an amazing job from a marketing perspective. Louise, who's in charge of customer success, is ex-Panalytics and worked for some coaching companies that coached accountants. So if you know this world, Panalytics and those kind of companies are really the real good, good experience to come out of that and come into running our customer success team at Ada. And then recently we've just brought on board Richard Snell. He's our head of sales. So he's only just joined us because we feel like the product's at the point now where we want to put the hammer down and start to generate sales and revenue as fast as we can. And Richard is ex-head of sales for MYOB, ex-head of sales for Carbon, for Carbon, which is a practice management tool for accountants as well, and Walters Kluwer as well. So real industry veteran and expert, knows the space inside out, Aussie-based. And so we've now got a full comprehensive team to make this happen.
Awesome. So delving more into the product, it is a analytics tool for accountants. It's something tailored to accountants. And how does it work? I mean, you're New Zealand based, and I think the Australian market is quite similar, and then the UK market is quite similar. So talk about how the product can reach those markets, and in a high level, what are the features that it provides?
So the pain points we're solving is scaling advisory, and so if you know the accounting and bookkeeping world, they're all, like I said earlier, they're all trying to move into this world of advisory. But those that have done it well have only really got offered advisory services to the top 10, 15% of their client base. What we're trying to do is say, well, let's do that for 80% of your client base. So how do you truly do it at scale? And then what are the blockers to doing that? So the blockers are, first of all, data. So it's garbage in, garbage out. If small businesses are doing their own coding, there's a bunch of problems. How do you trust the data? You can't do advisory if your data is all wrong. So we have a feature in the product that cleans up the data. It's a really important part of the product. It helps accountants and bookkeepers do their compliance really efficiently. And compliance is core to their businesses. They are compliance engines. Their job is to make their small business clients compliant. And so our feature helps them do that compliance job really quickly and easily. But the second and the strategic benefit of that is it creates trusted quality data on the Ada platform. So the first blocker to scaling advisory is you don't have the right data to do it at scale. So we can help solve the compliance piece and create high quality data. The second part is around don't have the right kind of tools to offer monthly reporting and other services. So usually advisory is a monthly report offered by the accountant to, like, a management report to their client, and then a whole lot of conversations around that report to help them run their business better. The reporting tools out there, and there's some really good ones, but they are big and comprehensive and confusing and expensive, and they're hard to scale across the base. What we've built is, when once you get your data correct, you press a button and it automatically prints out a really simple, small business friendly monthly report that already has some pre-suggested wordings in it for the accountant and explains what's gone on in that business. So all they have to do is write an executive summary and send it out to their clients. So suddenly that's something much more scalable. Instead of big expensive reports that most small businesses don't want to see, it's a very simple, easy way to run reporting for hundreds of clients very quickly and easily. And then overarching all of that is a management dashboard. So real-time data of all of your clients. So an aggregated view of your 500 clients, showing you which clients need your help today and why. So it helps you be a lot more proactive. So you can see this client's cash flow is going down. This one's got a big tax bill coming up. This one's costs have skyrocketed. And you can very quickly jump in and see the detail behind that, and then have a conversation with your client. So it's a real comprehensive advisory tool. So those are the key features. We've built it in New Zealand and Australia. We're live in New Zealand and live in Australia now, and that's because the markets here are quite ready, are ready for this. This is, the accountants and bookkeepers in New Zealand and Australia, because of Xero, moved into the cloud a long time ago. We integrate to Xero. We bring all that detail through from Xero into Ada, and then it's kind of plug and play for the accountant. It takes 5 minutes to set it up. But because Xero's been here for a while, all of these accountants are used to working in the cloud. So they're ready to move onto that advisory journey. They're not just rear view mirror compliance accountants anymore. The UK market, to answer your question about the other geographies, the UK market is ripe and ready here as well. They've got Xero, they've got Sage, they've got a couple of other apps, and a big market focused on moving into advisory. They are catching up with New Zealand and Australia, so it's a very good market for us. It's crowded. We'll have to do some cut through there, but it's a really good opportunity. What's also very, very interesting is the US and Canada. They've been slow to adopt this advisory concept. They've been really focused on compliance for a long time, but that's changed. In the last year, there was a big shift, and they're starting to move into this advisory space. So we have a massive opportunity there to try and get in and start to own that narrative and partner with QuickBooks and get out to all of those accountants and bookkeepers in the US and Canada. So Ada's been designed to do that, not just New Zealand and Australia. It's a good place to start. The market's ready, but then UK, Canada, and the US is very, very much on our radar.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so tell me about the milestones you've achieved with Ada, because you are hitting a lot of milestones, and there's a lot of things.
I think, look, there's been some really milestones are, they're interesting measures, but for us, there's some external things that have provided some really good validation. Things like, Xero looked at us and we got Xero app of the month or whatever it was. But that's not, they got 1,000 apps. It's not very easy to get that. And that comes with a little bit of scrutiny from them. We've had really good feedback from QuickBooks around our strategy and the product as well. We've had things like we've made it onto what's called the app stack of a company called Clarity Street. Clarity Street specialize in building the best app combinations or tech stack or app stack for accountants. They curate all the apps out there and go, right, here's the best combination to use. And we've just got into that. That's a really good milestone and opportunity for us as well. Will continuously give us the right kind of exposure. And when we first built that small business app that I spoke about, that was really innovative. We will come back to that. We will bring that back as an add-on onto the advisory platform. But when we first built that, we were the first ever Kiwi company to be invited into the MasterCard Start Path program. Start Path is their global accelerator where they cherry pick, top fintechs around the world, and then they look to partner with us. And so we've made it into that program. It's and that's something that we'll always have access to, is access to Start Path, which has access to lots of banks and accounting and small businesses as well. So we've got some really good milestones to celebrate there. But the key thing is really we just focused on product and customers.
Okay, so tell me about the ask. How much are you raising? What's it being used for? What's the momentum you've had?
Okay, so we're looking for 5 million New Zealand. It's a seed round, if you want to call it that. Depends on which country you're in, but it's around seed. And the goal for us with this next raise is it should be getting us into cash flow positive, into profitability. Amongst other things. So the key thing is it'll allow us to continue to work on the product. We have, as I said, very strong product conviction, working closely with our customers, but we've got a very ambitious roadmap. What our data allows us to do is move into other things like lending and other things, like that mobile app that I spoke about. There's lots more we can get to and want to do. So we will continuously evolve the product, and some of that money will go to that. But a lot of it is going to go to generating sales and revenue for us. So we want to grow our sales team, we want to grow our customer success team, we want to grow our marketing to generate that additional revenue. And then also part of it will go to launching into the next geography. So whether that's UK, Canada, or the US, we've got to work out what the best entry strategy is for those. But that depends on the right kind of investor as well and what they can bring to the table. So very much product and growing revenue.
Yeah, it's very I mean, given the space you're playing in, it's very data driven, growth strategy. Which in this current market environment is what's being asked for.
Absolutely, and what's also been interesting to watch is the new interest in natural language generation, and that is one of our upcoming features. So part of this capital raise will go into helping us execute that feature. I spoke about the monthly report that you can press the button. We've got all the data, we've got all the context about those small businesses. All that's left for the accountant to do is go and write an executive summary that explains to the small business owner what's happened in the last month and what they need to do about it. Well, we can do that as well. So the goal is to press a button, generate the natural language, the executive summary that's there then for the accountant to review. So it's a real practical use case where we can generate interesting AI solutions. And so part of it is that's what I mean by raising this, using that data that you're speaking about, Daniel, and starting to generate interesting products off the back of it.
Yeah. Okay. That's really interesting. What you're providing for accountants is, a completely new revenue stream to their business and helping them scale and unlock potential from the remaining 80% of their portfolio of clients.
Exactly.
Which for an accountant is essentially a small business as well. So,
Correct.
They're struggling on how to increase the revenues to combat the increase in operational costs and living expenses and things like that. So for them, they're offering an additional service with minimal effort.
I've just spoken to an accountant who used our product to engage 2 of his clients, and both of them came back and bought a new advisory service from them, another couple of $100 a month. That came out of nowhere from our product. So absolutely, it's allowing accountants to generate new revenue streams. It's also good for the small business owner, which is still my passion, is how do we help them be more successful? I don't think a small business owner will ever be more successful if they have an accountant that just does their tax once a year. But if the accountant can help them run their business every month, that's going to make small businesses more successful. So yes, it's about generating more revenue, providing more services, but even better than that for those accountants, there is some time saving and efficiencies as well because of that compliance feature that we've got as well. So it's the best of both worlds for them.
Yeah. Okay. That's very interesting. Well, I won't take up too much more of your time, but from an investor's point of view, if you are, especially if you've got an accountancy background and you understand this might be something that you want to chat to Brendan about. But if you see, for anybody who's watching this video and wants to know more, we can connect you directly with Brendan to discuss Ada and how you can get involved. But they are looking at international expansion. This is a company that has taken used Australia and New Zealand to test the market, grow it, build their strategy from data. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Thanks Dan. I think it's really good opportunity. We've got customers, we've got paying customers as well, and it's now just kind of taken to the next level. So looking for those for the right investors to come along on the journey with us. And great to be working with you and the team at KapVista, Daniel. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave it at that. But thank you very much for jumping on. It's great to chat to you, and we'll share this video with some information about your offering.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Bye.